Hey, everybody, it's John Tantillo, JT with John Miniaci. I hope I said that name right.
Absolutely.
Okay, from Johnny's Pizzeria. Not only is John a friend of mine, he is the epitome of entrepreneurship. And we're going to be talking about pizza. We're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about all these things that are going on today that challenge the small business person. But before we get into this, how you doing?
Before I get
how are you doing?
Before I get started, I want to say thank you very much for having me on your show. I'm honored and privileged.
Oh, come on. We go back. We go back.
I know we do.
It was it 2000? I think it was 2017, or was it before?
I think it was before.
You think it was 2016 then?
I think 16 going on 17, like the mid.
I think it was, yeah. And I was a consultant for the for the New York City Small Business Services. And I was able to corral you or convince you for me to come on by. And here I go. I come by, and it's like, what are you bothering me here for? What are you doing? What are you doing? Well, I got to work. I got this. I got that. But I'll give you 15 minutes. That's right. I'm giving you free time.
Yes, I got
go ahead.
I had no time for you.
You had no time for me.
That's right. How we met, I won a contest. I applied for this city thing. You get advertisement like big business does. They put you on billboards. They put you on bus shelters. They put you on all these big signs. And you have to have, like, in business more than 20 years or better. And you put your whole life story. And I was one of the winners. And part of the plan of being one of the winners was getting a free consultation from anybody, but ended up being John Tantillo, the marketing doctor. And he goes, "Can I come in and we could talk?" I said, "Yeah, if I could try to make time for you, but I can't promise you." And that's how it started. Yeah.
Oh man.
We started as strangers and we ended up being friends.
Dear friends. And not only, and I'm going to get Rocco angry at me if I don't mention Rocco, your partner in crime there. And let me tell you something. The pizza is really, really, really delicious.
Thank you very much.
And it's Johnny's Pizzeria, and it's right across the street from the church on Lady of Perpetual Help. Okay, and see, you say it's, what's the section called? You call it
Sunset Park, Brooklyn.
Okay, I don't call it Sunset Park. I call it Bay Ridge.
It even goes back way further than back. It used to be called Yellowhook. That's going back way before my time. Right. But yeah, they rezoned it. It used to be called Bay Ridge, and they rezoned it, and now it's Sunset Park. More than 50 years ago, they rezoned it.
Well, I mean, when I was in college, I would go in the 60s. I think technically Bay Ridge starts in the 60s somewhere, 3rd Avenue. And all of those bars that I used to go to, the only problem is that I used to drive there, and there was no parking.
Still the same
never parking there.
Still the same problem today, John.
I mean, it was, but I mean, I had so many wonderful experiences in Bay Ridge. And I think the church that I was familiar with, because I was a Franciscan, and I think it was Queen of Angels. That's the next church. Okay, that was the next church.
In Bay Ridge, right?
And that was in Bay Ridge, yeah, 3rd Avenue, and you're on 5th Avenue.
Right.
Okay. So, but enough of this memory lane stuff. Let's get down to pizza. Now, I've heard a girlfriend of mine, my dear friend, you'll meet Alice Fennell, and she's on this now gluten-free, carbless. She's into all of the only vegetables, and she's screaming about, and I'm sure you've heard about this, cauliflower crust pizza.
Outrageous.
So tell me about I have trouble digesting as it is. Imagine how it's going to be when it's cauliflower. Go ahead. It's all yours.
A lot of people think cauliflower pizza, you just get a vase, fill water up, and throw it in there and watch the fruits and vegetables grow. But it's not about that. It's about healthiness. Pizza is healthy. Pizza you have it for breakfast is better than a bowl of cereal.
Love it.
The cauliflower pizza is it's a spin-off for people who cannot have the flour. They have the celiac disease, but this will help them enjoy the pizza. I eat cauliflower pizza myself. When I try to stay away from pizza, and it's like, you know what, you get the same taste, same everything, but the crust is cauliflower. And it's outrageous. There's
hold on. Wait a minute. Let's explain for those of us, because there are purists in the group. You know, I'm thinking about Willie Rizzo. He's not going to go for cauliflower pizza. And my friend Jimmy, he's not going to. Jimmy P, he's going to say cauliflower pizza. Take your pizza, and
forget about it.
Go and show us, shine it where it doesn't shine, or something like that.
Right.
So, what is cauliflower pizza?
Well, it's cauliflower, which is the number one ingredient. It's blended. It's diced up very fine in a blender. You mix it with eggs, salt, pepper. The egg yolk and everything keeps it all together. And you make a crust out of it. You put it in a shell, and you put your sauce. Everything you put on pizza, you could put it on the cauliflower.
Wow! So instead of bread, you're using the cauliflower in place of the bread.
100%.
Wow. That does sound interesting. For all the vegetarians out there. My niece, who's a vegan, I'm sure, but the eggs, you fouled it up with the eggs.
Right.
You don't want
you need something to keep it binded together.
Sure.
I'm sure there's an alternative way, but the best that works for us is the eggs. But you can also buy the shell too. And if you don't have the experience and have the knowledge of how to make the cauliflower crust, you could buy the crust already prepared already, and they sell it frozen, and you just put the sauce and cheese and throw it in the oven.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this now. What do you say is the percentage of people that are now ordering cauliflower pizza?
Well, in my store, the percentage is very low.
It is low.
Yes, it's very low in my area. Listen, you come into a pizzeria, you eat pizza. You want a salad, you go to a salad bar. That's what I tell people. You want pizza, here to eat pizza. That's it. You want a salad, go to the salad bar, you're in the wrong place. So we're about pizza. We're about pizza for 52 years. Pizza was very good to me, still good to me. And I couldn't do it without the people around me, and the whole neighborhood, and the out of the barrels of neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, you know what I admire about you, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your nose here. You have an instinct, and that's why you and I got along so well. You have like a sixth sense for promotion and marketing.
Thank you.
You just have it.
Thank you.
And one of the things that you do is you have the kids from the neighborhood learn how to make pizza. You have school kids. You have a class on how to make pizza for the kids. Absolutely. This is brilliant. Go ahead.
So what I came up with this idea at work, for kindergarten students, and I was at home one day, and we're just, me and my wife were just shooting the breeze, like, how can we make it fun for the kids? And she came, I said, why don't you teach them, the the five senses, and they all know about all the five senses. You know, they're in kindergarten, so we all know it's, you know, you eat pizza, you need first you have to look at it. It's a sense of sight. Then you take a bite out of it, you hear a crunch, a sense of sound. Then the sense of smell, the taste, and you pick it up, you're touching it. And I said, that's a great idea. I could spin it that way, and we're introducing using the five senses of eating pizza. And I said at the end of it, we all know there's five senses, but in Johnny's Pizzeria, there's six senses. It's not just the five senses, but there's six senses eating Johnny's Pizzeria and loving it.
I love it. It's just so great. And by the way, kids, I don't have to tell you, kids love pizza. I mean, Donovan, that little clip, it's, you know, every time he comes to New York with his mother, it's, I have to get right in an appointment to get time with him. But I had mentioned that to come, that do you want to learn how to make pizza from my friend John? And he said, I don't know. I'd rather eat it than, you know, and he is a snob, you know, he's just a clip. But the next time he comes in, we'll definitely make a trip down to Brooklyn to do that and to say, yeah. And you know, another thing about you, well, it's complimenting you in this promotional thing. I mean, how many movies and television shows use your place as a background for their scenes?
Yes, it's been
one of my favorite actors there was there, James Franco.
Yes. Well, we were involved in a lot of commercials, a lot of BBC. We also did like an episode of a commercial in China. Go figure now, China, right? And but we've been very blessed. We've been very blessed since the internet online ordering started. And we just got lucky. When somebody saw something I posted, they liked it. Oh, can we come down and talk to you? And that turned to a BBC documentary. That turned out to a little like a spoof, a Chinese spoof, like a comedy show. We did that. We did something about this other company, online company, ordering pizza called Push for Pizza. They were trying to get a reality show, but they were bought from another conglomerate, another online company, which what happens? You come with an idea, somebody buys it from you. Then we were also we had season 1, episode 3. I'm sorry, season 1, episode 3 on The Deuce with James Franco. He acted. He was the director, also acted. He played a twin, and we got a nice. They did 3 scenes in there. We also did a commercial for the NBA for the New York Knicks. We've been very blessed, And that one I was particularly in and on the commercial. They hired me to show one of the basketball players and how to make pizza because he was a rookie, starting out in the NBA and all that stuff, and for the New York Knicks. So it was great. But I've been very, very blessed, and I just try to come up with ideas. I keep my social media alive as every day we try to post something positive. Always about food. I give them a little look behind my family, like my family life and like personal life. Just get a little taste to see, because I'm a normal person like you and everybody else. I'm not just about business. I like to have fun also. So
yeah. Well, what is our line between us that we all that you always quote me on?
Well, it's all about ABB. It's always be branding.
Always be branding. And you do it. Yeah. And I mean, it wasn't always so easy for you. Right. I mean, your dad founded the place. Mm-hmm. Rocco was your partner, was there with your dad. But your father passed, so you had that was a big shock to the family. But But then almost like a threat to the business, a real moment where everything was maybe going to come to an end.
Correct.
Why don't you let our listeners know? By the way, this is Brand Talk, another way to talk with John Miniaci, who is the co-owner of Johnny's Pizzeria, and he's going to talk. He's going to introduce what happened to him and Rocco back. How many years ago was this?
13 years ago.
13 years ago. So, without any further ado, go ahead.
Okay, I was working and just my particular shift at this pizzeria, and then some guy comes in. He goes, "Hi, how you doing? My name is so and so. We're going to be neighbors." I said, "We just rented the place next door." I said, "Oh, congratulations." I said, "What are you putting?" You know me, I'm a nosy little guy.
You curb yourself. That's good. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he's like, "Yeah, we're I'm opening the Papa John's Pizza." I said, "Excuse me?" I said, "Like, you open a what?" Yeah, I said. So I told him, "Hey, well, good luck." So I said, so when he left, I go, "Wait a minute, did I just hear what he just said, or I just was that a joke or something?" So you're putting a Papa John's next to Johnny's Pizza. You got Johnny's Pizza and you got Papa John's. I go, "Nah, this can't be true." So I start making phone calls, say, "Yeah." I said, "What happened to business ethics? What happened to having respect for businesses? You sell what you sell. You want to sell, you can open down the block, next block, or across the street. Don't open next door from one another. Don't start a fight. You're trying to make friends. You already started you stir the pot, so to speak. You don't do that." But they did it. So we had to come up with a different idea, different campaign, different ideas of doing things. And, 13 years later, they work because I'm not involved in corporate rules, corporate regulations. They have to sell what they have to sell, when they can sell it, who to buy it from, get it from them, get it from their corporate, distributors. I have the ability to sell what I want, when I want, for how much I want.
Right.
So, and I could sell that. Whatever they sell, I'll sell.
But wait a minute.
Yes.
What I want to get to is, what did you do?
Mhm.
I liked how you called everybody into the office, and this is what, because they were ready. They were ready to collapse. And here's the leadership. Go ahead.
So a lot of us like, "Oh my God, what are we going to do next? We're going to go on this." Like, no, we have to do things different. What do? We only take cash. Okay, we only take cash. What can we do? What do they have? They have online ordering. Nobody was very infants in that time at 13, 14 years ago about, mom and pop shops having online ordering. We didn't have a website. We didn't have online ordering. We didn't have we didn't have credit cards. We only took cash, maybe little checks. We didn't have an ATM machine, nothing like that. So What can we do to keep the brand alive? What can we do? So let's get a website. Let's get online ordering. Let's get, ATM machine involved. Let's get all this stuff. So I'm all about mom and pop shops. I'm all about mom and pops keeping the money local. So I hired everyone locally. I hired a neighborhood guy that knew how to do a website. I hired a neighborhood app to order online food. I hired all these color companies, and eventually I hired more and more bigger companies as well. And as time go on, they got bigger and bigger, and they became, instead of a mom and pop shop, they became a corporation. They became they're on the stock exchange. So they grew really, really big. But I started small, and I worked my way up and just added them on together. And I keep adding and adding, trying different ideas, different catchphrases, different, using social media as part of your business, using Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm not really great at Twitter fan, but I constantly usually Facebook and Instagram as my two most big important social media platforms. So it was big. It was tough, but wait a
minute. You're burying the lead.
Yes.
The lead is Did you contact the newspapers? And
Yeah,
didn't you do
I forgot about that.
a campaign
I,
to,
yeah,
David versus Goliath?
yes,
Come
yes.
on, this is
I,
you're burying this in.
I forgot about that.
Come on in.
You know, there's so much I did, and to have this thing move forward. Yeah, I had local people. It's like we need to do something. Let's get a petition together. So we got a petition together to get like 3,000-4,000 signatures to help put a block them from opening it up. That didn't work because they got deep pockets. My pockets going to go so deep, and their pockets are really deep, and they could have the big lawyers, have all this stuff. I even tried to call the New York senator at the time, was Hillary Clinton. Didn't do much for me, but you know what? She tried. What are you going to do? It is
Right.
what it is. But I had a friend, David. He was a local guy from the area. He had a friend that worked for the New York Times. And listen, this is going on from my neighborhood pizzeria. Can we maybe talk to him? And they liked what I had to say. They did a story, did a front page of New York Times in the Metro section, and it ran all weekend. The media did stories. Channel 5, Channel 9, was on 1010 Wins all day, every day for like a whole couple of days. But they did a follow-up story a year later. How you do from then to now? Don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
It never is.
It wasn't easy. This was a 6-month battle that could have went teeter-totter. And at that time frame, there was a lot of businesses going, which way it was going to go. It's going to go up or down. And we were just riding the wave. My father said, never go against water. Always go with the flow. Go with it. And that's what I did. Always remember, go with the flow. So we went with it. And it was great. It was really great. I have to be very grateful because I was very blessed about that, because I was very happy because people stand behind their local shops, and I'm honored for that.
Yeah. And then see what I admired about you is that you weren't rigid. You went from taking only cash to taking credit cards.
Absolutely.
And what did you tell me about taking the credit cards?
Credit cards, I've already told you a lot of things. When we first started credit cards, it was very small amount of business in credit card sales.
Right.
In credit card sales, you have to teach your staff how to use it. And they go, I don't know how to use it. I said, well, you have to learn how to. Now it's going to be part of everyday norm. That's the new normal. And if you don't know how to learn it, you have to find yourself another job. So they end up learning, and 13 years later, we're still using it. And now it's from having 2% of my sales being like almost 75% of my sales today. And that's a big difference. Big difference.
Yeah. And I don't remember. I thought you were thinking about it. Oh, do you use point of sales software now? Go ahead.
Yes, we use point of sales, and we've been using that for about 2 years now.
Okay.
Reason being for the point of sale is
what is point of sales?
Point of sale is a digital system that you ring up sales and ring up customers' information. You get a database. You get their phone number. You have their home address. So when they do call again, all that information stored into the system already, which is this. So they call up and boom, and they show you about the recent order and all that stuff. But mainly keeping all my orders, how many times phone calls, how many phone calls I got per day, how many orders I got per day, how much did I make just on that particular, phone orders compared to what I make, walk-ins like that.
Yeah.
You get better track of everything. It's all about knowing your numbers.
Absolutely. And by the way, you're very good at that. I remember the first time meeting you, you knew your numbers. You would tell me, as a result of the credit cards, our business has grown. At that time, it had grown significantly.
Oh, it's been going up like 30,000-40,000 a year on credit cards every year.
Right. Right. And then what about this Grubhub and these delivery services and ordering services? Tell us a little bit about that, the pros and the cons. Are you on any of them or you're
Yeah.
not?
Yes, I am. I'm on most of all the platforms.
What are they?
There's so many of them. There's Slice.
That's like, and that's only pizza.
That's only, as of right now, they're only pizza. Yes, pizza. They cater just for pizza. And then you have, Grubhub. They have Seamless, which is one company now.
Right.
They used to be two companies. They merged. They're on the stock market.
Right.
We do all the work. They make all the glory. But you know what? It is what it is. But I'll get to that. It's another story for later on.
Sure. No, we're talking with John Miniaci from Johnny's Pizzeria in Brooklyn. And this is BrandTalkk, another way to talk. And what we do here is we talk about brands. And I am just so proud of this brand. I love this brand. It's what I was always about. I remember as a kid getting into trouble, telling my mother I wanted a certain kind of brand. Mm-hmm. And when I was in the Franciscans, where you weren't supposed to like brands, and I was told by my novice master, I wanted Miracle Whip as opposed to mayonnaise. And he said, brother, you're a Franciscan. And I said, well, I like Miracle Whip. I would like to get Miracle Whip. And then he proceeded to tell me that he wanted Cracker Barrel. And I said, I had a pair back then, even back then. And I said to the novice master, does it have to be Cracker Barrel? So, I love brands, but talk about brands. Go ahead.
Brands, it's the main thing about a brand is how the customer looks at, it's all about the customer. You have your name is your brand. Your name is everything about you. You have a good brand, you have a good product, people are going to come back to you. It's not about me, not about you. It's about your customers. That's
Absolutely.
What it's about. And you're selling your idea to your customer. And that's the whole thing about a brand being, you want your name to be a household name. And that's what we try to do our best every day. And I think Johnny's is a household name. You don't even have to say pizza or pizzeria. You say Johnny's in my neighborhood, in the neighborhood that we have, they know exactly who we are.
Okay, let me just ask you this. What makes Johnny's Pizzeria or Johnny's Pizza? You take any side you want, any name you want, and makes it unique. What is the benefit when I go to Johnny's? Pizza is pizza.
No, it's not. Why? You just throw bread, sauce, and cheese on a piece of bread and call it a pizza. You just can't do that. There's talent behind it. There's technique behind it. There's your family recipe behind it. There's the knowledge of everything. You just can't just make your dough. You have to know everything. You have to know your water temperature. You need the ambient temperature. You need to know the temperature outside. You need to know the temperature going to be tomorrow. Because when you make your dough, it's not just water, salt. There's a chemical reaction going on. You have yeast. It's going to start reacting to everything. So you need to know the temperatures of your refrigerator. You need to know the temperature of your water, the flour, the salt you use, the oil, all that stuff. It all works into uniform, all works together in one great harmony.
Mm-hmm. Well, wait a minute. Now, do you actually make the dough or do you buy the dough?
No, we make the dough. Always
make the dough.
Absolutely.
Now, are there some pizza shops that buy the dough from a wholesaler? Go ahead.
Well, first of all, big corporations buy, Papa John's, they get their dough from their manufacturer. The Pizza Hut gets their, Domino's get their dough delivered to them. But no, not mom and pop shop. Mom and pop shops make everything, by hand. They make everything in-house. Make all that stuff in-house because We're all about freshness, the right ingredients. They may have this catchphrase, oh, better pizza, better ingredient, better pizza. No, 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 no.
Right.
You put my slice against their slice, no comparison, hands down.
Right. Okay. But what would you say is the difference between your pizza and the pizza right next door, other than its freshness?
Mhm.
Do you think? What kind of what's the taste like?
Well, I can't tell you because I refuse to eat it. That's number one.
Ah,
Just because
great answer.
just
Great
about the
answer.
principle. Yeah, it's the principle, but like the look, the size of everything. So like, I'll give you an example. So like they have their small is a small. My medium is their large. My large is their medium.
I love it.
That's how so we didn't sell 14-inch pies before. So I was like, I have a 14-inch pie, I'm selling a 14-inch pie. How much they sell it for and what I sell it for, whatever it is, I don't even know. I try to keep pretty much in the same ballpark. But and I'll give discounts. At the time we did buy two, get the third one free. And just to get the people in, and sometimes
Sure.
you lose a couple of dollars to get the person in for long term. Once you got them, and you always keep them respectful. Always keep it humble. Always keep a fair price, and you fluctuate with the times. As the times go up, we go up a little bit, not much, 20 cents, 30 cents here and there. So, but we give all different ideas, different ways of doing things.
Yes. Yeah. Well, when you run a business, it's really attention to detail.
Mhm.
And no detail is too small.
That's right.
And I mean, that's what a lot of people don't really understand. I had a friend of mine, good looking guy. And what he did is he went down to Virginia Beach and went in with a partner to make pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was doing that for about 2 weeks. And he said, this is a lot of work. You got to, I'm working 14 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sweating my hat off.
Right.
And I'm not doing this. So he left.
Absolutely.
He left because of the amount of work that had to go into the business.
Yeah.
And here at BrandTalkk, that's what we talk about. It's another way of talking that if you're going to go into business, we used to have an expression. When you have your own business, you can work any 23 hours a day you want. That's the beauty of having your own business.
That's right.
You're always thinking, you're always branding, you're always thinking about. And that's what a lot of people, when they say, oh, well, why do small businesses need money?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we simply give money to the working man? Well, because there are people that are employing people.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
So listen, opening a business is not, they have the idea, they think it's regular sauce, flour, yeast, or cheese to run a business, pizza business, just say. It's not about running the business is easier. It's running the business, you have to take care of the business, get the employees, do payroll, do accounting. The hardest part about any business is your customers. You have to try, without your customers, you have no business at all. And this comes down to the brand. That's what it comes down to. It's easy to get, once you get your employees, you get your whole idea of how do you want to run the operation and do your account, because I do accounting too. And when I get all the numbers together, I send it to my bookkeeper. I send everything to them. So when they get all that stuff together, that's the easy, but the hardest part is keeping your customers, being loyal to, coming back to you. And that's what you have to work on every day.
Yeah, I could just imagine that. So what's happening, do you think, to the pizza business? Is pizza on the rise? Is pizza on the decline? We just mentioned about cauliflower pizza that should be on the, and of course I have to ask, how do you feel about pineapple on your pizza?
Mhm. You want something sweet to have it. I don't really care for it. The best way to me is pineapple slices, get it, throw it in the garbage. But everybody's a different palate.
Yeah, yeah. Now,
Uh,
when I was there, did you bust them on me because I ate the pizza with a knife and fork? I'm a knife and fork guy, and generally I ask for the silverware. I don't
yes,
even ask for the plastic. I actually go for it because I got my tailor-made shirts
yes.
and my bow tie and my whole thing, and I'm always going someplace else after I have my pizza. Go ahead.
Well, eating pizza with a knife and fork is sacrilegious.
I know, I know.
It's
Your
like,
friend De
like
Blasio that gave you the contract there.
yeah.
He felt that he did that, right? He ate it with
So,
the knife
you
and
know,
fork.
to each their own. Some people are raised with a gold spoon in their mouth. Some people are raised with,
I wasn't, baby. I
okay,
wasn't. I
you know,
mean, forget it. I got pictures of me at grandma's house. The whole bib is filled with gravy. Go ahead.
so, to each their own, but I try to make a joke about it. I do give it to them. If they ask for a knife and fork, I give it to them.
I know you do. I
And the
think
first,
'cause I think I did. I think he gave it to me when I
yeah, and the
mentioned that
first
guy.
thing I say is, I go, a knife and a fork. That's sacrilegious. Well, what do you mean? They get all nervous. I say, nah, I'm just joking. But the right way to eat a pizza is with your hands. Your hands are your best tools. You
Sure.
pick it up and you hold it, and Eric, to come down to the five senses, and that's one of them.
Yeah, there you go. The five
So,
senses.
yeah.
That's right.
So,
That's
but we
right.
have to make it. We try to make a joke about it. Try to make everybody laugh.
Yeah. Well, you got a wonderful sense of humor, let me tell you. So what's happening to the pizza business? Is pizza on the incline or decline, or what's going on?
Well, I'm more of a fast casual pizzeria, which means you come in and dress how you want to dress. As long as you have a shirt on, and all
Yeah.
that. But you come in, you could be in and out of this. You could be in and out of the pizza shop within 10 seconds. That's my type of business. You come in and out, you're out. I do have dining area. I do see you could sit down more than a half hour. You want to stay an hour, you could stay as long as you want and buy what you want. But I'm more of a fast casual. Those particular businesses are on the decline. What's coming now for pizzerias are more sit down restaurants, more
Right.
having more gourmet pizzas, more toppings, more different looking pizzas, more
Yeah.
attractive pizzas, which you could elevate the price some more.
Sure.
They have their brick ovens, they have their Napolitan style. They have different ways of making their dough and all that stuff. So you can have it more seating and more dining type of pizzerias.
Yeah.
Is it a pizzeria? Yes. Is it a restaurant? Yes. It's more like a hybrid. They combine it together.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
can increase their sales. They make it more attractive, the place. They make it more like, romantic. They have it more like elegant. But it's still a pizzeria. So like I said, it's a hybrid. They make it, that's the new incline is
Yeah.
more, of like fine dining for pizza.
Well, you see, what you're underscoring is that when you do a business, what you have to do is you have to always be watching and
Mhm.
observing and looking at patterns. So you
Absolutely.
just can't be another pizzeria.
Right.
You got to be someone who's going to, you said it, satisfy the needs of your customers.
Hmm.
What do your customers want?
Hmm.
You
That's
know?
yeah.
And I mean, that's what it really is about. I mean, I have a number of pizza places that I enjoy, and it depends on my mood. And what I used to do, I can't do it more because I was always overweight, is I would only eat the cheese.
Right.
The cheese and the sauce. And I always liked either pepperoni or sausage on the pizza.
Right.
Oh, and wrapping around the cheese. And then what happened is I got older. And if I'm going to eat pizza, I got to pop the lactose pills.
Right.
So that,
I gotcha.
But I mean,
with the cheese,
I always do it when I go to see you. I bring my lactate pills, but boy, is it delicious. And there's another place in Staten Island that I liked, Nunzio's. I know my big Bob. I love his pizza too. So it depends what borough I'm in. You know, if I'm in Brooklyn, I go see you. If I'm, I really don't have a place here in Forest Hills. There was one place that Romano used to go to. The comedian, he used to have his show. You know who I'm talking about, Romano?
Yeah.
And I can't remember, and it's like 5 blocks away. And I never went there, and now she sold it. Lazara or something of it. I don't remember the name of the restaurant, but anyway, I love pizza, and I love sausage. I love sausage, absolutely, and pepperoni. Those are my favorite. Mushrooms, I can take it or leave it, and I'm not. I'm not.
Let me give you a little hint about pizza.
Go ahead.
How you know a good pizza, a good slice from a topping slice. If you're gonna order if you want to know if the place is good with their pizza, order a plain slice.
Yes.
If plain slice is good, the topping on a pizza is going to be
even better.
That's right.
Sure.
That's how you know between a good slice and a bad slice. If
yes.
the bad slice with no topping is bad, the one with the topping is going to be maybe good.
Yeah. Now, John, not getting too personal here, but how are you doing with this coronavirus situation? What are you doing to survive?
Well, it's what we do is we have to do a lot of changes very quickly.
Like what?
I'll give you an example. When this whole thing on March, when the mayor put an executive order of how to operate your business, is you went from one way and you've been doing it for 51 years. We just hit a 52nd anniversary, which
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And
that is great. That's great.
And we want to do like everything, moving forward. This is how we're going to do it. And then they tell you, you can't do this no more. You can't have anybody sit in your store. You can't anybody use the restroom no more. You can't have anybody in your store at all. So what we do is we had to cut some hours, change things, juggle around. We try to keep everybody on staff. Mm-hmm. So we had to block off the dining area and put a signage area outside, inside. This was before the global masking went into effect, because they really didn't know what was going to happen. Which they had it. Someone had to take charge and do something. And I'm honored. My place, a pizza food business, is an essential business. I never knew that was essential business. It was like, oh, we didn't know we could stay open, and we were able to stay open. So, but as time went on, more and more people outside were getting sick. More people outside getting sick. Here, Brooklyn, the numbers are high, this and that. So my workers, they get scared, they get nervous, and like, oh my goodness, like I'm afraid. So we're going back and forth. Me and my brother-in-law, my brother, we're all talking and like, maybe we should close. Let's try to hang in there. So we did a voluntary closure, not because we had to, but we wanted to, for the safety of our staff, the safety of the community. And it was the time until we closed. We closed during Lent. We closed for Good Friday, the whole 3 weeks. We closed almost 3 weeks. We closed for, and Lent is our busiest time of the year.
Wow.
Busiest time, and it was a tough decision to do, but it was the right decision to do because safety is my number one concern for everyone.
Sure.
Okay, and my workers were appreciated. They want to be with their family in the peak of the time. And so we decided to close for 3 weeks, and we opened April 20th of 2020. We reopened again. And it was pretty much, to tell you the truth, we didn't skip a beat. It was like we closed for 3 weeks, and we went in 2 days before. We sanitized the whole store, cleaned everything from up and down, inside and out. And we just tried to keep a limited menu. We had to open and close at certain hours. And we had to abide by the New York City rules and regulations. They were sending inspectors every day if you're obeying the law. They will send the building department. They send the building department. They send the police. They send the sheriff. To see if you following the rules and regulations. They will take all the license, take all the documentations. If you have all the paperwork, your food handling license, your license to operate a business, your tax ID number, the employees who are working in the store. It was scary because this is it's all new for everyone. This is
right.
This is a learning curve for everyone.
Right.
And you have to go with the flow. So we abide by everything.
Yeah.
I'm grateful we have window service. We have an old school pizzeria that if we could keep the door closed, we keep it closed and they come to the window. And we leave the window 10 inches open. It blocks, just enough for them to slide the food underneath and they go on their way.
Right. Well, I have a friend of mine that invited me out to the island. He has a house on the water. And he said, come on out and we'll order in. And we ordered in. And the restaurant, we said, well, how's business? He says, I've never been busier.
Yeah.
It was his particular restaurant. I'm not going to mention the name. Everybody out there, it was this every house, and it was an affluent area. Everybody was ordering out. They didn't want to cook.
I'm going to tell you my reasoning why a business does well during a pandemic like we're having today.
Right.
Is because about a lot of places are closed. That's number one.
Right.
Number two, the places that are open are busier because there's not as much competition.
Right.
And if they have a good brand, a good name in the business, if they weren't struggling before this, okay, they will do better after this. The reason why the business was struggling before this even happened, they were just living, just ends meet, just making bills, making payments, making rent, and with nothing left, living paycheck to paycheck. There's no coming back after this. There's no way, even if you get help by the government, you're not going to bounce back because it's the hardest. Once you get in a hole, it's so tough to climb back out again, especially if you close for almost 3 months. Some places are closed for 3 months. I don't care how much help you get. There's no way to come back for that. And the people who are on unemployment, to get them back are going to be harder because they're making more money for unemployment than working. So that tells you right there, it's like, is it a slippery slope? And the businesses are doing well, they will continue doing well. And because they have a great brand.
Right. Okay. So I'm a young person. Okay. I'm a young guy and gal. I've been working for a Fortune 500 company, and I have this thing. I want to go out and I want to bake. I want to make cookies. Mm-hmm. I want to build a brand. This is what I love baking. This is what I always wanted to do. Would you recommend doing this at this particular point in time, or would you wait? What would you do? What advice? You're an entrepreneur. What advice would you give these young folks
Well,
regarding starting a business?
One thing I would just say is, what about your numbers, your capital? What do you have? You have something you could lose. You have 50 grand you could lose. You have 100 grand you could lose. Just like, because that's what you have to go. You're gambling in business. And you don't know if you're going to make it, you break it. You know, business is like a marriage. Some marriages last forever. Some marriages last 6 months. So in business, it doesn't take a month to get a good business. It takes years to build a business.
I love it.
Years. Yeah. And you could ruin a business within 6 months. You know, and so if you're able to lose your initial investment, I can afford to lose this kind of money, I would say do it. If you cannot afford to lose that money, I would wait after this whole coronavirus thing.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, one of the things that I heard that my friend Charlie Gasparino brings it up. He's with Fox Business News, FBN, Fox Business Network. He constantly brings it up, and it hit me. You know, in New York City, one of the biggest problems is the elevators. If you're going to do social distancing, to get in that elevator, they predict it was going to take you 12 hours to get from the first floor to your floor. Yeah. I mean, these are the kinds of things. Go ahead.
4 people in an elevator, each stand in each corner, that's only 4 feet from one another. You know, and you do 2, it's still the same thing, but they have to either continue wearing masks when they're in the elevator and have a limit of 4
people. No, that goes without saying. They're going to have to do that. Go ahead.
Or they got to, exercise, climb up those steps, 10 flights, 20 flights, 20 flights.
Right.
It is. You give yourself extra time to get to work.
But, not if you're on the 25th floor. I remember going down 25 floors.
Down is easy.
And my legs the next day. And this is when I was in my 50s. My legs, my calves killed me. Yeah. I mean, that was walking down, not going up. I mean, that is just a rough situation. Well, we only got a few more minutes.
Sure.
What would you recommend people to do if they really want to go into business? You alluded that maybe this is not the right time to go into it. But what else would you recommend?
I would recommend you get a nice catchy name. I would recommend, if you get a catchy name, try to trademark. I would definitely recommend try to get a catchphrase or a saying. Like for me, what I have is, there's never a line when you order online at johnnspizzeria.com.
No, you stepped on the line. Say it slowly, and say it slowly and emphasize it. Go ahead.
There's never a line when you order online.
There's never
a line when you order online.
There you go.
You put at Johnny's Pizzeria, or you could put but that particular phrase, I own it. There's never a line when you order online. And if you want to add something to it, at johnnspizzeria.com, which I add.
Right.
You got to get something that works for you. That's what it's about. Yeah. It's a pizza, about something like that.
So when you say order online, do you actually mean that they can go to a website and order online, or are you talking about the phone? How do you do this?
It's from pushing people to order online. They go on my website, they order pizza, they order heroes, they order pasta, instead of picking up the phone. Years ago, it was only you walk in, you phone, and that's it. Now today, there's so many ways to order pizza. You can order pizza on your phone, on apps, on a website, all these other different ways of ordering food. And so I'm trying to make a catchphrase, something catchy that people hear. Oh, that's from Johnny's. There's never a line when you order online, because when you come into this, they're so busy. Let's go order on the computer, because there's never a line when you're ordering online.
Right.
You get it?
Right.
Okay.
I got it. I got it. I got it.
You get something.
Go ahead.
Something catchy, a name. It's, there's a lot of people like to use their personal name, but there's other ways to have a business with, something they could invent of a different name of a business. It doesn't have to be your personal name. It could be anything. And it could be, look at BrandTalkk is about branding, so, you're branding something.
Well, when it comes to a brand name, the first thing, it should be short. Okay. Number two, it should be memorable, and it should be easy to pronounce.
Right.
So I mean, I've seen some Fortune 500 companies, and I'm not going to mention the name. I don't want to be sued. That, I mean, you just say, what the heck were they thinking here? And a lot of my students and millennials are not good with brand names. They just, it's just so esoteric. It's just so convoluted. It's so inside baseball. That's what esoteric means.
Right.
Why did you name it that? It should just be easy to pronounce. It should be memorable. And it should describe what it is that you're selling. I mean, Johnny's Pizzeria, you're selling pizza.
That's right.
But Johnny's itself, unless your customers say, we're going to Johnny's, and they know what that means. But if they don't know what it means, it reminds me of the time the geniuses at Chevrolet. I should get a call from them after this. They were trying to instruct their customers not to call Chevys anymore. They were supposed to call it Chevrolet. And I was on Fox, the strategy room, and they asked me, what did I think of that? I said, that's stupid. If your customers are calling, you have an endearing brand name. Why are you taking it away from them? This is nuts. This is corporate.
If it's not broken,
go ahead.
If it's not broken, don't fix it. If it's working, it's working.
Don't fix it. And you know the difference between horse dung and bull dung? Horse dung, people believe.
That's true. Very true.
Think about that one.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, let me tell you.
Again, I want to thank you again for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
Well, you're not done yet. You got another few minutes. First of all, what is the address of your place? And give us the phone number, too.
Well, the address of Johnny's Pizzeria is at 5806 5th Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11220. And you can order online at www.johnnyspizzeria.com. And that's where the whole idea is. There's never a line when you order online at johnnyspizzeria.com.
Well, hey, I love that. I love that. And how's your mother got? Is your mother got good? Because I love mother got.
Very good.
That's my favorite.
I forgot the phone number.
What's that? Oh, yeah, go ahead. The phone number. Go ahead.
718-492-9735. You can also go fax your order in, too, if you don't want to use the phone. Right. If you don't want to use the internet, you can fax it 718-439-7185.
And one more time on the phone number.
On the fax or the landline?
Oh, the fax. Nobody uses fax.
Right?
I let you do that, but nobody uses fax anymore. What's the phone number?
718-492-9735. That's 718-492-9735.
All right. Next time what we'll do is we'll have that we'll have it flashed on the Chiron, where this is a soft launch there, John. So anyway. We'll have to get you on again to give us a recap of what has gone on after, let's say, 2 or 3 months from now. What's going on regarding the business and everything that's going on.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. Thanks again. And I want to thank you for all of you for watching. And it's BrandTalkk, another way to talk. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
You got it.